Welcome in. Today on HHS TV, we have a great show including a report on some new classes at Harriton next year, Mill Creek Pollution, an interview with Mr. Weinstein, and a whole lot more. That's all right now, live from the Harriton High School television studio in Rosemont, Pennsylvania. This is the Ram Report.
Hello, I'm Ben Feldman.
Along with Nick Merriam.
For today's Ram Report, we hope you had a restful Thanksgiving break. We'll start today with some Harriton news, beginning with a Student Council update with Ben Barnett and John Diamond-Rivich.
Hello, Harriton. My name is Ben Barnett.
And I'm John Diamond-Rivich.
And this is your
Student Council Update.
3 weeks ago, Harriton was dubbed the King of Sandwiches when we raised over $300 for the HSA. We won the sandwich war against Lower Merion, and thank you to all who bought the chicken parmesan.
NHS would like to thank everyone who participated in the Thanksgiving food drive. We were able to feed a lot of families who are very thankful. Special shout out to Mr. Scullin's advisory, which is my advisory, for bringing in the most food, and Ms. Kiefer's advisory for coming in second.
It's that time of the year again. The Mr. Harriton contestants are picked, and practices start this week. Keep your eyes out around the school for upcoming news about the show. Get hype, Harriton.
Thank you, and this has been your Student Council Update.
Thanks, Ben and John. The Lower Merion School Board is considering building a third middle school in the district, according to Superintendent Copeland at a recent school board meeting. He said that if they were to build a new middle school, it would be a 5th through 8th grade middle school, which would significantly relieve stress at the district's elementary and middle schools, which are filled to the brim due to enrollment growth. Mr. Copeland stressed that they are just looking into building another middle school if it's a possibility, and no decisions have been made yet.
December begins today. That means the winter concerts are upcoming. This year's winter concerts are Wednesday, December 7th and Wednesday, September 14th.
Harriton's basketball teams are having their scrimmages this week. The boys' first game is next Friday, and the girls' first game is next Thursday. Ice hockey season has already started. They are 2-1 on the season. They have a big game at Lower Merion on December 16th at the stadium.
At the beginning of the year, our own Ricky Report sat down with Mr. Weinstein. Here's part of that interview.
What a special time frame to be a part of and to see that energy and to be part of those extracurricular activities and do this interview and go to people's games and see the theater. So just being part of the high school life again and the energy around high school, I'm thrilled to be back at the high school level and do those things. I do believe in a healthy community that everybody comes to and feels part of something special. So connecting people intentionally is really important to me. We started our faculty meeting in the beginning of the year, my first meeting with our entire staff, of doing community building activities, of intentionally getting to know each other, because high school could be pretty departmentalized. By your schedule, you can go to a certain place every day and you might not feel as connected. So it's really important to me that people feel comfortable, safe, and they come to a place every day that they feel like they can be their best and grow. I have 2 young daughters that, thank you for going lighter and allowing me to share this, but I have 2 young daughters that I go home to, and you know, I think a lot of people struggle with this, is that work-life balance is really important to me. You know, my most important job is being dad, and that's the most important job in the world, is being that of parent. And I think educator is second. I referenced earlier, I do enjoy sports. I like following sports.
Are you a Philadelphia sports fan?
I am. You know, I find I'm not a diehard. I love our Philadelphia sports because I grew up in Philadelphia. So my favorite professional teams are the Philadelphia teams. When I think about things that I've learned, it's value people, create an environment where you can bring the best out in people, in both students as they grow and staff.
Harriton and Lower Merion High School will be offering 2 classes next year, Computer Science and Communication Design, for the first time. According to a Lower Merion teacher who spoke at the meeting, computer science expands computer animation, and the skills you would learn in computer animation are applicable into web design, into advertising, into other types of commercial art. Another Lower Merion teacher spoke about communication design, saying, "Students are bombarded with images that impact the way they dress, the way they think, the way they interact with their peers, and it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to break down, and communication design allows them visual vocabulary to analyze that, interpret it, synthesize it, and then recreate it in a way that they can also produce work that impacts people, but also understand how that work impacts them."
A pipe burst in Gladwin 2 days ago, resulting in raw sewage spilling into Mill Creek besides the West Mill Creek Dog Park. A man who was walking his dog at the time posted this video in the Lower Merion Community Network Facebook group. He said He says it shows an unusual discharge flowing into the creek from below the Lower Merion pumping station. The pumping station pumps raw sewage from our area to Philadelphia. Concerned citizens pressed the Lower Merion authorities for answers. Dog owners were concerned for their pets' well-being. The township eventually released a statement saying that the cause of the issue was miles away, next to the Narberth Tunnel on Wynwood Road. A construction contractor working there accidentally broke a sewer main. This, they say, caused a minor sewage overflow downstream at the pumping station. Attempts were made to relieve some of the overflow, but it wasn't enough. Lower Merion Commissioner Brian McGuire assured the public that he had been told that the sewage flowing into the creek was very diluted. The Lower Merion Township statement also mentioned that in the future.
In local news, the SEPTA Silverliner 5s are back on track, allowing the train that runs through the main line to finally return to a normal schedule. Here's Max with more.
Thanks, Hannah and Ben. I'm here at the Bryn Mawr train station where the SEPTA Silverliner 5 trains have finally returned to service. The trains were pulled out of service in July of 2016 and are just returning now. The schedule has returned to normal from the modified one to accommodate the shortage of trains. In simple terms, the trains had a broken part that could have resulted in a derailment on a curved track section. A third of the fleet was out of service, but now all of the trains are up and running. To see how this has affected the schedule, I interviewed a student who frequently rides SEPTA trains. Jeff, how often do you ride SEPTA trains?
Maybe 5 or 6 times a week, back and forth. Yeah, they've been running a lot more because they took a bunch off, but now they're back, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, they're a lot cleaner and there's more space in them.
Cool. This is Max Harris reporting for HHS TV. Now, back to the news desk.
Now on to national news. Though Donald Trump has given his victory speech and Hillary Clinton has conceded the race, Green Party candidate Jill Stein has called for a recount in 3 states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The Clinton camp has supported this effort, and the Trump camp has denounced it. These efforts are not expected to change the outcome of the presidential race.
Since his election, Donald Trump has been making a transition team for his inauguration on January 20th. Here's an update on Donald Trump's cabinet so far. Trump began by making a controversial move to appoint Stephen Bannon, the CEO of Breitbart News, to be his chief strategist. This was largely controversial because Bannon is said to hold prejudicial views, especially against non-whites. Trump then decided to make Michael Flynn his national security advisor. Flynn is a retired lieutenant general and has often been criticized for his anti-Muslim beliefs. Trump has made Reince Priebus his chief of staff. Reince Priebus was the Republican chairman on a national level and was actually criticizing Trump earlier in this primary season. Trump has appointed Jeff Sessions as his attorney general. Sessions was the senator from Alabama who is largely criticized for his anti-marijuana beliefs. Trump has also made Mike Pompeo his CIA director. Pompeo was a Republican representative from Kansas who was top of his class at West Point and then went to Harvard Law. Pompeo was among Trump's least controversial picks. Trump has also made billionaire Wilbur Ross his Secretary of Commerce. Also in national news, protesters are still facing off against police at Standing Rock, North Dakota. Protesters face rough weather conditions, including, as of late, snow. The protesters are trying to stop the North Dakota Access Pipeline from polluting water and interfering with a Native American reservation.
And one piece of news before we go, the 76ers versus Kings basketball game last night at the Wells Fargo Center was postponed when the floor became mysteriously slippery. They are unsure of the cause, but many are speculating it is weather-related. Sixers star rookie Joel Embiid tweeted out, "Well, the court was tanking tonight. #trust the process." And that'll be all today for today's show. If you have a news tip, don't hesitate to contact us. Signing off, this is Nick Merriam.
And Ben Feldman.
For all of us here at HarritonTV, thank you for watching the Rant Report.